श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितां सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् समन्विता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च ओम ज्ञानविरान्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। सर्वप्रथम अस्मदे गुरुपाद पद्मनिकला वरिष्ठ गुरु शिष्यमद भक्तिवेदांत नारायण गोस्वामी महाराज जी के अभय चरणारविंदों में अनंत कोटि दंडवत प्रणाम अर्पण करता हूँ। दंडी स्वामी शिष्य भक्तिदास दंडी महाराज जी के चरणों में नाम निष्ठ संत दास जी गुरुपस्थित शिष्य महाराज समस्त वैष्णव के चरणों में मैं मेरा यथार्थ दंडवत प्रणाम अर्पण करता हूँ। कृपा की प्रार्थना करता हूँ। So today is Pandavamrita Ekadashi and very important day because Tirupati is very hot, so not doing any usual Ekadashi, not possible. But some fruit and water we are doing. Not little water, a lot of water because perspiration so hot. So anyways, but not taking grains and beans for so sure. So we are doing because today all the sins have entered the grains. So strictly forbidden grains. Actually, you are not supposed to drink a lot of water, but so hot. So that's why drinking some water also and some fruit, groundnuts. Somehow doing that because we need some energy also to speak and do some Nagar Kirtan. So Dandi Maharaj told you can take some Anukalpa and do it. Unfortunately, my Anukalpa always becomes Brahat Kalpa. Anyways, we'll discuss now some Harikatha. ब्रह्मात्मा भगवान अनुवादतीना अंग प्रभांश स्वरूपतीन विधेय चिन्ह अनुवाद आगे पाछे विधेय स्थापना श्री अर्थ कईशुन शास्त्र विवरण. Basically, Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj ji, whose Chaitanya Charitamrita we'll be reading also, amazing preacher, such a great personality actually. So today in India is Friday and so many protests against some woman made comments against Muhammad actually. Then I was searching the folio and seeing what Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj has said about Jesus and Muhammad. Then he went to the extent of even calling them Shakti Avesh Avatar. They are empowered personalities. They are not God. They are messengers of God, sons of God. They are giving the message. So he was basically, in Gurudev also I saw, he was telling that, yes, all the religions tell us the same thing, that this is not the place where you can be happy. This is the place of misery. So in that sense, because Sripad Dandi Maharaj also once he told me that, he said, I did Sankirtan in a mosque once. How he did Sankirtan? He invited the Muslim preachers, clerics, to his preaching center. And they did their prayer in the temple and then they invited them into the mosque and there they did Kirtan. So like interfaith dialogue and finding the commonalities of the religion. So dialogue is required because now the world is full of so much hatred and strife. And if we all the religions keep on fighting, then generally the innocent people who lose their property, lives, so understand. So interfaith dialogue is also sometimes required and trying to create a harmony in a society. Not criticize each other's preachers, rather trying to find the common points. And there are so many common points in both religions, Islam and Christianity and Hinduism. So here it said that impersonal Brahma, the localized Paramatma, and the personality of Godhead are three subjects. And the glowing effulgence and the partial manifestation and the original form are their three respective predicates. So this Chaitanya Charitamrita has some Siddhanta. It's a very wonderful book. It has Siddhanta. So Brahma, Paramatma and Bhagavan, they are called Anuvad. Anga, Kanti, Ansha and Swarup, they are three Videya. So it is told that Alankar Shastra. Alankar Shastra. They are referring here to Alankar Shastra. Alankar Shastra means ornaments. Ornaments, speech or ornaments. For example, you say that Upama Alankar. Upama Alankar means you say that someone's face is like moon. Not that his face is like moon. His face may be quite different from moon, but moon is comparable to the face, or face is comparable to moon. So there is Upaman, Upameya. These are the Alankar Shastra. Understand? So वेदादि शास्त्रों में स्थान स्थान पर ब्रह्मा, परमात्मा और भगवान इन तीनों विषयों का उल्लेख रहने के कारण में भली भांति ज्ञात तत्व है, इसलिए इनको अनुवाद के रूप में जानना होगा. So now here Amrut Prabha Bhashya. This particular commentary is by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. This is Gokul Chandra Prabhu from Mathura, Vrindavan. He has translated this, Gurudev disciple, to Hindi, and done a good job. So basically in Vedas discusses three things. Brahma is the bodily effulgence of Krishna. Paramatma is the localized super soul, and Bhagwan, the supreme personality of Godhead. Shri Krishna Chaitanya ki Angakanti jo Brahma. So here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has bodily effulgence, and that is called Brahma. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has a plenary portion that is called Paramatma, and his Swarupa, his very nature, is Swayam Bhagwan. So basically, Brahma, Paramatma, and Bhagwan, they are all manifestations of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Brahma is his bodily effulgence, his plenary portion is Paramatma, and his very form, Swarupa, is Swayam Bhagwan. So first these three anuvads are discussed. These three topics are discussed. Now Videya. What is Videya? Videya means something, that unknown topic is called Videya. So here, the scriptural conclusion, Shastra Siddhanta. Scriptural conclusion is that in Vishnu Tattva, the topmost truth is Swayam Bhagwan Shri Krishna Chandra. Means there are so many incarnations. Rang, Baraha, Kurma, Matsya, Vaman, Kalki, like this. But among them, the supreme personality is Bhagwan Shri Krishna Chandra. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, Nandanandan is called Nanda Suta. Nanda Suta. Nanda Suta. Suta means son. And Nandan means also the son. But Nandan means one who gives, literally who gives pleasure, is called Nandanandan. Yashodanandan, Shachinandan. Nandan means one who gives pleasure. So, like we sing in the morning, Namami Nanda Nandanam. Offer obeisances to the son of Nanda Maharaj. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that same Nandanandan Sri Krishna has appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Brajendra Nandana Jai, Shachi Sutta Hoilo Sei, Balarama Hoilo Nitai. Papi Tapi Jatachilo, Harinami Uddharilo, Tara Sakshi Jagai Madai. Therefore, Shri Krishna and Shri Chaitanya both are quite non-different. Understand? Totally non-different. No difference between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Shri Krishna. But that supreme absolute truth has three manifestations. The first manifestation is Brahma, the second manifestation is Paramatma, the super soul, and third manifestation is Swayam Bhagwan, the original supreme personality of Godhead. So therefore, these three are the Prakash of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now Sri Krishna is Swayam Siddha Bhagwan. He is the supreme personality of Godhead, and he is also the son of Nanda Maharaj. The Shrutis discuss, the Shrutis tell us that Nandanandan Sri Krishna himself is Raso Vaisaha. He is the emporium of all the mellows. He is the collection of all the mellows. He is the reservoir of all the mellows. Like Sai Maharaj wrote one small booklet. That's called Reservoir of Pleasure. So Nischinta Prabhu had printed that. He had given me many copies. Very, very inexpensive book. I used to sell it on Venice Beach for a quarter. Then by the end of the day, I would have so many quarters. I used to put all the quarters in the hundi. Then by the end of the week or month, they could not lift the hundi because so many quarters were there. I remember, Reservoir of Pleasure, understand. So it's a small book, but it has good Siddhanta, Swami Maharaj book. So rasa means two things: aswadya rasa and rasa aswadaka rasika. Understand? So you see that mellow means one who is the enjoyer and one is enjoyed. Understand? So in the form of rasa, Krishna is the to be enjoyed, and is also the enjoyer. Understand? Krishna is rasa and Krishna is also rasik. Understand? So Krishna is rasa, means he is the rasa means literally juice, mellow or juice. It's like mango rasa, ras they call it amra rasa. Uh, so any type of juice is like rasa. So Krishna is rasa. He is the something to be enjoyed, aswadya. But he is also the enjoyer. He is Rasika Shekhara Krishna Parama Karuna. He is the supreme enjoyer also. So he is the enjoyed and he is also the enjoyer. But he tests the Lila Rasa. He is testing so many pastimes. So he is called Lila Purushottam. That Krishna is called Lila Purushottam. Basically, three Purushottams are described. Purushottam means the best of the personalities. It's called Purushottam. Purusha means personality. And best among them is called Uttama Purusha or Purushottama. So Purushottama is Maryada Purushottam Sri Ramchandra. And then there is also Leela Purushottam Shri Krishna Chandra. And then Prema Purushottam Sachinandan Gaurari. Understand? So Krishna Vai Paramam Daivatam, Gopal Tapni Upanishad. Now this particular Upanishad is like discussing good topics about bhakti. Understand? So Gopal Tapni Upanishad, Krishna Vai Paramam Daivatam. Actually, I was reading one letter from Srila Bhakti Kumar Santa Goswami Maharaj. He was talking about so many things actually. He was telling about something about ISKCON also. And he said, I know Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj very well, and he was a Grihastha, and both are god brothers actually. But he was telling that what ISKCON is doing now, that they are constructing a very big temple, Chaitanya Chandrodaya Mandir in Mayapur. Then he was telling that now people don't even bother to go to the Janmasthan, Chaitanya Mat, the birthplace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because they say that we want to see Mayapur means we have seen ISKCON temple, we are going back. That's it. We are going away. We don't want to see anything else. So he said this is a disservice to Mayapur Dham. Because you are taking away people from the birthplace of Mahaprabhu. How much Sukruti they will get if they see the birthplace of Mahaprabhu? But many people don't even know. They visit Mayapur, they say this is the only one big temple. We'll see this big temple and then come back. Understand? So he was making some point like that. So, not anything that I have against ISKCON, but we should also preach about the glories of the birthplace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And second point he was making in his letter he wrote to Gurudev, it was published in Bhagavad Patrika. I happened to read an old text of it. And he was telling that in Gaudiya Matha, there are three deities, like Radha, Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But in ISKCON, generally only Radha Krishna are there. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is sometimes kept in a corner with a smaller deity. He said they are reducing the size of Mahaprabhu, but Mahaprabhu generally, in Gaudiya Math, is like always almost the same size as Krishna or at least Radharani. Understand? So the deity should be like proportionately big. So he said we should not minimize Mahaprabhu's height. Understand? Because he's such an important personality. He's Radha Krishna combined. So Diva Dhatu means Krida. Diva. Diva means pastimes. Like we say, Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande Divyati Kridati iti Krishna. One who performs sweet pastimes, that is Krishna. So, Anadi concept Lila Purushottam. From the beginningless time, Krishna is performing pastimes. However, any pastime or any sport cannot happen alone. So there are some associates are required. Understand? Uh, some associates are required basically. Any pastime, like many people, they get married. I see that they get out of one company. They say two is company. So they want to get married for company actually. So like that, see Krishna also. He has Radharani, and without her, pastimes cannot take place. But even with Radharani, pastimes cannot take place. If Radharani is alone, still the pastimes cannot take place. Because you need also the Sakhis and Manjaris. They are also required for pastimes. Understand? So many associates are required for pastimes. So this topic will be elaborated further in the shloka. Vibhudopi Sukharupa Saprakashopi Bhava. Sakhis are also very, very important. So Leela cannot be performed alone. And that's why Krishna is manifesting his associates. And these associates are along with Krishna from beginningless time. This Radharani is also as old as Krishna. From beginningless time, Radharani is with Krishna. So Krishna is complete. He doesn't depend on anyone else. And is Atmaram, self-satisfied. But his associates also not different from Krishna. They are his plenary portions or they are his potencies. So Krishna's plenary portions or his potencies have manifested as his associates in the pastimes. So Krishna has four types of associates, namely the associates who are in the mood of servitorship, the associates who are in the mood of fraternal love or friendship, the associates who are in the mood of parental love and affection, and the associates who are in the mood of conjugal love, which is called Madhur Ras. In order to relish Vatsala Ras, the parental affection, he needs mother and a father. Therefore, Krishna's potency, Krishna's energy has become his mother and father from the beginningless time. His Nanda and Yashoda, they are nothing but manifestations of Krishna's own energy. And from beginningless time, they are playing the role of his mother and father. Actually, by nature, Krishna did not take birth from Nanda and Yashoda. Nevertheless, due to the influence of prema, Shri Krishna thinks that Yadna and Yashoda are my mother and father. So Krishna was not born from Nanda and Yashoda, from Swarupa. What it means by Swarupa means that Krishna is the source of all the associates. Nanda and Yashoda are also coming from Krishna. So how can Krishna take birth from Nanda and Yashoda? But in Golok Vrindavan, although Krishna did not take birth from Nanda and Yashoda, Krishna considers them to be mother and father out of love and affection. In Bhauma Vrindavan, in Naimittik Leela, he performed the pastime of taking birth right from the womb of Mother Yashoda. An umbilical cord was cut and everything was done in Gokul. But in Golok Vrindavan, that is not the case. There is no pastime of Krishna taking birth from Nanda and Yashoda. But out of the influence of love for them, he considers them to be mother and father. And they also consider Krishna to be their son. Therefore, Krishna is called Nanda Sutta or Yashoda Sutta. Like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Nanda Sutta Jini Chaitanya Gosai Nija Nama Kare Dana Tarila Jagata Tumyo Jaiya Laha Nija Paritrana. That same Nandandan Sri Krishna came as Sachinandan Gaurari and is giving Shuddha Prem, Nam, Harinam to everyone. Go and please receive that prema, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is singing. So now we are coming to the verse number 10. I think, so in this one was purport for all the three verses. Brahmatma Bhagavan Anuvadatina Anga Prabha Amsha Surupatina Vide Chinna Anuvada Age Pache Videya Stapana Sahi Artha Kahi Suna Shastra Vivarana स्वयं भगवान कृष्ण विष्णु पर तत्व पूर्ण ज्ञान पूर्णानंद परम महत्व नंद सुत बलि जारे भागवते गाई सही कृष्ण अवतीर्ण चैतन्य गोसाई. This Hindi book has come finished the purport for this, but I will read the English. अनुवाद आगे पाछे विधेय स्थापना सही अर्थ कही सुन शास्त्र विवरण. A predicate always follows its subject. Now I shall explain the meaning of this verse according to the revealed scriptures. Swayam Bhagavan Krishna Vishnu Partatva. Krishna is the original form of the personality of Godhead. He is the summum bonum of the all-pervading Vishnu. He is all perfect knowledge and all perfect bliss. He is the supreme transcendence. He is the supreme transcendence. And he whom Srimad Bhagavatam describes as the son of Nanda Maharaj has descended to earth as Lord Chaitanya. According to rules of theoretical arrangement for efficient composition in literature, a subject should be mentioned before its predicate. The Vedic literature frequently mentions Brahma, Paramatma and Bhagavan, and therefore these three terms are widely known as the subjects of transcendental understanding. But it is not widely known that what is approached as the impersonal Brahma is the effulgence of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's transcendental body. Not is it widely known that the supersoul or Paramatma is only the partial representation of Lord Chaitanya, who is identical with Bhagavan himself. Therefore, the descriptions of Brahma as the effulgence of Lord Chaitanya, the Paramatma as his partial representation, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna as identical with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu must be verified by evidence from authoritative Vedic literatures. The author wants to establish first that the essence of the Vedas is the Vishnu Tattva, the absolute truth. Now, this is very, very important. Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says, Vedesha sarver ahameva vidyu. That in Vedas, what is to be known is Vishnu. Tad Vishnu paramam padam sada pashyanti suraya diva chakshur atatam. The Vishnu Tattva has different categories, of which the highest is Lord Krishna. Now, Vishnu Tattva also, there are so many incarnations. Understand? Vishnu Tattva also, not just one or two incarnations. Vishnu Tattva means so many manifestations Vishnu Tattva has. But among them, the topmost is Shri Krishna. Understand? Krishna is the source of all the incarnations. Ete chamsha kala pumsam Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Means basically there are Purushaavatar, Gunavatar, Lilavatar, Manvantara Yuga Avatar, Avesh Avatar. There's so many types of incarnations are discussed in the scriptures. Understand? But Krishna is the source of all of them. Understand? So all these incarnations are discussed in one small booklet, Bhagavatamrita Kana. You can download it. It will be nice. First, we'll have Purushaavatar. This Purushaavatar also three types: Karana Radhavashai, and then Garbhodashai and Shravdishai. So these are like incarnations. So you see that after that, first Purushaavatar, second Purushaavatar, third Purushaavatar, like this. So many incarnations have been described in the scriptures, but Krishna is the source of all of them. Understand? So, the Vishnu Tattva has different categories, of which the highest is Lord Krishna. The ultimate Vishnu Tattva is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita and throughout the Vedic literature. Now, here Swami Maharaj is referring to one verse, Mattah parataram nanyat kinchit asti dhananjaya. Mai sarvam idam protam sutre mani ganaiva. That nothing is beyond me, nothing is superior than me, no truth is superior than me, Krishna is telling. And all the entire creation is supported by me, just like the necklace beads are supported by the thread. If you want to wear a necklace of beads or jewels, then you have to string them in a string them in a thread. And if the thread is not there, they'll all not be able to stay in one place. So Krishna is like the thread, he is the support of all incarnations. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, the same Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna is described as Nanda Sutta, the son of Nanda. Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami says that Nanda Sutta has again appeared as Lord Krishna, Lord Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he bases this statement on his understanding that the Vedic literature concludes there is no difference between Lord Krishna and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Understand? So this is the second pastime. Like first pastimes were in Dwapar Yuga, Krishna came. And to conclude what he could not achieve in Dwapar Yuga, again Krishna came as Sachinandan Gaurari. Understand? So, in Srimad Bhagavatam, the same Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna is described as Nanda Sutta, the son of Nanda. Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami says that Nanda Sutta has again appeared as Lord Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he bases his statement on his understanding that the Vedic literature concludes there is no difference between Lord Krishna and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The author will prove, this author will prove. If it is thus proved that the Sri Krishna is the origin of all tattvas, truths, namely Bhagwan Brahma, Paramatma and Bhagwan, and that there is no difference between Sri Krishna and Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it will not be difficult to understand that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also the same origin of all tattvas. The same absolute truth is revealed to the students of different realizations. It's called Brahma, Paramatma and Bhagwan. So this is to be proven that Krishna is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also Krishna. There is no difference between them. Now verse number 10. प्रकाश विशेषे तेहा धरे तीन नामा ब्रह्म परमात्मा स्वयं भगवान. So here प्रकाश विशेषे तेहा धरे तीन नामा ब्रह्म परमात्मा आर स्वयं भगवान. Shri Krishna or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they have three manifestations: Brahma, Paramatma and Bhagwan. They are known by the three names Brahma, Paramatma and Bhagwan. So, Srila Jiva Goswami has explained the word Bhagwan in his Bhagavad Sandarbha. The personality of Godhead being full of all conceivable and inconceivable potencies is the absolute supreme whole. Now Krishna has all the conceivable and inconceivable potencies. Impersonal Brahma is a partial manifestation of the absolute truth realized in the absence of such complete potency. So basically impersonal Brahma is a partial manifestation of the absolute truth realized in the absence of such complete potencies. The first syllable of the word Bhagwan is Bha, which means sustainer and protector. The next letter Ga means leader, pusher and creator. Va means dwelling. All living entities dwell in the Supreme Lord, and the Supreme Lord dwells within the heart of every living entity. So combining all these concepts, the word Bhagavan carries the import of inconceivable potency in knowledge, energy, strength, opulence, person, power and influence, devoid of all varieties of inferiority. Without such inconceivable potencies, one cannot fully sustain or protect. Our modern civilization is sustained by scientific arrangement devised by many great scientific brains. We can just imagine, therefore, the gigantic brain whose arrangement sustain the gravity of the unlimited number of planets and satellites, and who creates the unlimited space in which they float. So the space is unlimited. The number of planets is also unlimited. How many planets are there in the sky? Sometimes, if there is no clouds and the sky is, you can see millions and millions of stars that are twinkling. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Basically, everyone is curious. I was also very, very much curious. In childhood, I used to look in the sky and what is this? As if it is like, so many stars in the sky, clear sky, I just wonder what is this? Can anyone go there? Can anyone visit there? You know, people are trying, but they cannot. So what is that is, so what is the great brain behind these planets? Who's managing all these planets? And this is the smallest of the all small Brahmandas. This Brahmanda has a Brahma who has only 4 heads. But there are Brahmandas where Brahmas have 8 heads, 16 heads, 32 heads, 64 heads, 1 million heads, 1 billion heads. And more the number of heads, more bigger the Brahmanda he has to manage. Or vice versa. Means if the Brahmanda is big, he is given more heads so that he can manage properly. And compared to all the Brahmas, our Brahma is like a small mouse. Understand? One time our Brahma developed great pride and he went to Dwarka. So the gatekeepers asked him that, who are you? He said, I am a Brahma, don't you know that? Then they said, you wait at the gate, we'll go to Krishna and we'll ask permission if we should be allowed in his presence. So they went to Lord Krishna and gatekeepers and they told Krishna that one Brahma has come to the gate. He's telling, I am Brahma. Then the gatekeepers came back to Brahma. Then Krishna asked them that which Brahma? The gatekeepers came to the gate and they asked Brahma that which Brahma, who are you? Krishna is asking that. And Brahma didn't know that there are other Brahmanda. Brahma said, oh well, I am the only Brahma in this Brahmanda. Why Krishna is asking this question? I don't understand. So then tell Krishna that I am the father of 4 Kumaras. Tell the father of 4 Kumaras has come to see you. So then the gatekeepers came to Krishna and said that the father of 4 Kumaras has come. Then Krishna said, okay, allow him inside. But he had so much pride, so Krishna, he invited all the Brahmas from all the Brahmandas. And then there were 8-headed Brahma came on a very big swan. And our 4-headed Brahma was watching from a corner. Then he offered his Dandot Pranam. All his crowns on his head touching the ground. And then a 16-headed Brahma came, then 32-headed Brahma came, then 64-headed Brahma came, then 1 million-headed Brahma came, then 10 billion-headed Brahma came. And our Brahma was, and then there so many crowns and so much tumultuous sound was coming from the crowns hitting on the ground when they are doing pranama and colliding of all these crowns. Then Brahma was scared actually. Oh, wait a minute. So much opulence Krishna has. Understand? So we cannot imagine how much opulence Krishna has. One time there was one devotee, he was very proud in his ISKCON. Then he was he was very proud. Swami Maharaj one day called that devotee. He said, hey, do you know that in this Brahmanda there are so many planets like Earth planet? He said, yes, Prabhupada, I know. Then among all those planets, he said that the Earth is a very small planet. And within this Earth, there are so many dweepas, so many islands, and among them is Jambudvip. In Jambudvip, there is a small country called Bharatvarsha and America. Then you will say, okay, Prabhupada. Then within that America, there are so many cities. And then among these cities, every city there are so many localities. So there are so many cities, and among them one city is Dallas in Texas. And in Dallas also there are so many areas, and that we have a small area where our temple is there, Hare Krishna temple. And the Hare Krishna temple also has so many rooms, and that one of the rooms we are sitting. That room has so much space, and that tiny devotee like you is sitting. And you are thinking you are everything. So he said, wow, Prabhupada smashed him. Understand? So we are nothing, not even an insect compared to Krishna. But we think we are everything. This is actually the Maya. Understand? So one time when king was there, he was riding on a elephant. As he was riding on an elephant, one drunkard came there, and the drunkard was in a drunken stupor. He asked loudly, "Hey king, what is the price of your elephant? I want to purchase it." King said, "Grab him, grab that drunkard. You want to purchase my elephant? Grab him." So they arrested the drunkard and then they put him in the jail. So next day morning, the influence of the liquor was gone. Intoxication was finished. He came to his normal state. Then king came to him, said, "Bring him to me." Then they brought him in the court, hands and legs tied, shackled. Said, now you tell me how much you want to for my elephant. Then the drunkard said that the purchaser of the elephant is gone. With the liquor, the purchaser also went. Now I am at your mercy. Understand? So that is how it is. We are drunk in Maya. We think we can purchase the elephant of the king. Understand? So this is Maya. So this it is told here that I enter into each planet. This is now Swami Maharaj is quoting a very famous verse. For 15:13, Kama Vishata Bhutani Dharayami Aham Pushrami Chaushadi Sarva Soma Bhutva Rasatmaka. I enter into each planet and by my energy they stay in orbit. Otherwise, the planets cannot stay in the orbit. Scientists give so many explanations for planets staying in the orbit. They say that there is centripetal force, there is centrifugal force, gravitational pull, inter uh, intergalaxial attraction and whatnot. So many types of explanations they give, but here simply Prabhupada is telling that yes, Swami Maharaj is telling that by my power I have entered into each planet and all these planets are in orbit. So where the planets not held in the grip of personality of Godhead, they would all scatter like dust in the air. Modern scientists can only impractically explain this inconceivable strength of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So modern scientists they cannot understand. Try to explain, but they cannot explain fully the glories of Krishna. The potencies of the syllables bha, ga, and va apply in terms of many different meanings. Through his different potent agents, Lord protects and sustains everything. But himself personally protects and sustains only his devotees. Just as king personally sustains and protects his own children, while entrusting the protection and sustenance of the state to various administrative agents. So basically, children and wife, king himself will maintain. But as per the subjects, he will have a minister, board of ministers, prime minister, finance minister, home minister. And through the agency of these ministers, he will protect the subjects. He will rule them, he will protect them, he will guard them, he will nourish them, he will sustain them, protect them. But his own family will maintain himself. So Lord is the leader of his devotees, as we learn from the Bhagavad Gita, which mentions that the personality of Godhead personally instructs his living devotees how to make certain progress on the path of devotion. Thus surely approach the kingdom of Godhead. Lord is also the recipient of all the adoration offered by his devotees, for whom he is the objective and the goal. So devotees always glorify the Supreme Lord. Understand? He is the object of their love and affection and glorification. Bhagavan Shri Krishna. For his devotees, the Lord creates a favorable condition for developing a sense of transcendental love of Godhead. So all this facility which we are now enjoying, the books, computers, laptops, tablets, the food, air, water, clothes, rain, favorable weather condition, medicines, all this is Krishna has given. Nothing we brought with us. Understand? We are so grateful to Krishna. We are so grateful to Krishna for all that he has given to us. For his devotees, the Lord creates a favorable condition for developing a sense of transcendental love of Godhead. Sometimes he does this by taking away a devotee's material attachments by force and baffling all his material protective agents. For thus, the devotee must completely depend on the Lord's protection. Basically, another type of mercy Krishna is giving is actually taking away devotees' material attachments by force. Understand? So basically, it may be money, it may be some person who we are attached to, but Krishna will take away all these attachments. Understand? Because the devotee is hankering for the topmost goal of love of Godhead, so Krishna doesn't want him to be disturbed. It takes away the attachments he has in this material world right away. Lord is not directly attached to the creation, maintenance, and destruction of the material world, for he is eternally busy in the enjoyment of transcendental bliss with paraphernalia composed of his internal potencies. So Lord has nothing to do, not directly attached to creation. Creation also is doing through the agency of Brahma. Maintenance, Lord Krishna is doing through the agency of Mahavishnu, Garbhodaksha Vishnu, Karanaksha Vishnu. And the annihilation of the material world is doing through the agency of Lord Shiva. Understand? So you see here that Lord is not attached to creation or annihilation. He expands himself as the Purusha avatars who are invested with potencies similar to him. The Purusha avatar also in the category of Bhagavad Tattva, because each and every one of them is identical with the original form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So basically all the Purusha avatars they are identical with the original form of Personality of Godhead. The living entities are his infinitesimal particle and are qualitatively one with him. So all the living entities are his infinitesimal particles, very small particles, living entities of Krishna's small particles, and are qualitatively one with him. Means they are one with the Supreme Lord. Understand? So the Lord deputes himself in the state of super soul to supervise the arrangements for such material enjoyment. So the living entities want to enjoy. So Lord expands himself as super soul to supervise the arrangement for such material enjoyment. The example of a temporary fair is quite appropriate in this connection. If the citizens, a state officer to supervise it. Such an officer is invested with all governmental power and supervises it. Such an officer is invested with all government power and therefore he is identical with the government. When the fair is over, there is no need for such an officer and he returns home. The Paramatma is compared to such an officer. The living entities are not. So basically creation, maintenance, Paramatma does that. Understand? But after the material creation is finished, Paramatma returns and again he enters into Garbhodaksha Vishnu or Karanodaksha Vishnu. So living beings are not all in all. We are not all in all. All in all means we are not the supreme controllers. We are not controllers of anything. We cannot even control our mind. How can we control people? A lot of times we try to control others. We should not try to do that. Actually, rather we should try to control our mind. We should not control others, but rather we should try to control our own mind. Like Maharaj was telling me, Dandi Maharaj, about the hospitals. The Gandhiji said something about hospitals. He was telling that hospitals are the breeding ground of the scene, something like that. Because basically in hospital, previously what was there? There were no hospitals, no medicines, no advanced treatment. So people they have any disease, then they would just suffer for it. And then all the sins would be gone, because suffering is also a type of getting rid of sins. Understand? Some sins you have to just suffer for them. Understand? Many sins are eradicated by chanting the holy name. Most of the sins. Understand? All the sins are eradicated by chanting the holy name. But by Bhagwan's mercy, sometimes devotees also have to suffer. But the devotees don't blame Bhagwan for that. rather consider it their own bad karma. Understand? We should not blame others if someone is mistreating us. We should actually blame our own bad karma. Understand? In past life. So living beings are not all in all. They are undoubtedly parts of the Supreme Lord, are qualitatively one with Him. Yet they are subjects to His control. The living entities, they are controlled by Bhagavan. The Lord who associates with the living being is the Paramatma or Supreme Living Being. So Lord in the form of the Super Soul or Paramatma always accompanies the living entities, always staying in the heart. No one therefore should view the tiny living beings and Supreme Living Being to be on an equal level. So basically, one should not think that, oh, Jivatma is same as the Supreme Lord. Understand? They are not on same level. Jivatma is very minute part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. And the Supreme Lord is very, very big. So the all pervading truth that exists eternally during the creation, maintenance and annihilation of the material world and in which the living beings rest in trance is called impersonal Brahma. Basically, impersonal Brahma, Brahma Jyoti description is given here. So now the next verse is verse number 11. Vadanti tattva vidas tattvam yad jnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagwanti shabdate. Learned transcendentalists who know the absolute truth say that it is non-dual knowledge and is called impersonal Brahma, the localized Paramatma and the personality of Godhead. So basically, that same absolute truth is known by three names: impersonal Brahma Jyoti, localized Paramatma or the Super Soul, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Understand? So the Sanskrit verse appears on the 11th verse of the first canto. Understand? The first canto, 11th verse, this has been told. Understand? So, so now we'll read a little bit about from Hindi. अर्थात सभी शक्तियों से समन्वित पूर्ण आविर्भाव के कारण भगवान अखंड तत्व रूप है. भगवान is endowed with so all the potencies, and Bhagavan is the source of all incarnations. He is the undivided truth. There is only one God, undivided truth. And in Brahma, his spatial form is not manifest. Therefore, Brahma is known as a plenary portion. Brahma is called plenary portion. So here is told that सभी शक्तियों से समन्वित पूर्ण आविर्भाव के कारण भगवान अखंड तत्व रूप है और ब्रह्म में उस प्रकार विशेष आकार रूप गुण लीला प्रकाशित नहीं होने के कारण ब्रह्मा भगवान का आंशिक आविर्भाव है. Means here is told that the Brahma does not have a form, qualities or pastime. Brahma is not merciful. Therefore, Brahma is only partial manifestation of Bhagavan. Now it is told that, oh हे मुनिवर, भगवत शब्द के प्रथम अक्षर भ के दो अर्थ है, संवर्ता और भरता. Basically भगवान और भगवत. The bha means संवर्ता, one who maintains. Ga means a leader, and Ga means a leader. तो प्राणीगण भूतात्मा परमात्मा में वास करते हैं और वे अविनाशी पुरुष परमात्मा भी वे अविनाशी पुरुष परमात्मा भी सभी प्राणियों के भीतर वास करते हैं. अंडरस्टैंड? सो ऑल द लिविंग एंटिटीज stay in the Paramatma. Paramatma is also called Bhutatma. So all living entities stay inside the Paramatma, and that imperishable personality or Paramatma also is present in the heart of all the living entities. So the purport is that वह अक्षर का तात्पर्य है. Here माइक गुणों से रहित तथा संपूर्ण ज्ञान शक्ति बल ऐश्वर्य वीर्य और तेज को धारण करने वाले भगवान कहलाते हैं. व्हाट इज भगवान? भगवान means who has all the knowledge, all the potency, all the strength. He has all the opulence, all the strength and all the power. Understand? So one who has all these qualities, jnana, knowledge, shakti, potency, bala, strength, aishwarya, wealth, riches, virya and teja. One who has all these qualities, then only is called Bhagavan. संवर्ता शब्द का अर्थ है अपने भक्तों के पालन करता. तो संवर्ता मीन्स वन हु मेंटेन्स हिज डिवोटीज. भर्ता का अर्थ है धारक या स्थापक. सो भगवान इज भर्ता, वन हु मेंटेन्स, हु सपोर्ट्स. नेता शब्द का अर्थ है अपनी भक्ति के फल प्रेम को प्रदान करने वाले. नेता मीन्स वन हु bestows the result of one's devotional service. What is the result of one's devotional service? कृष्ण प्रेम. तो गमिता का अर्थ है अपना धाम प्रदान करने वाले. So Bhagavan bestows his own dham upon others. Understand? हरे कृष्ण. So वे जीव के नित्य सहयोगी के रूप में प्रकाशित होते हैं. जो तत्व स्वप्न, जागृत और सुषुप्ति, गाढ़ निद्रा, इन तीनों अवस्थाओं में अन्वय रूप में स्थित रहता है और जो अपने से भिन्न स्वरूप शुद्ध जीव नामक शक्ति में भी अन्वय रूप से अवस्था करता है. समाधि अवस्था में जो विशेषण रहित निर्विशेष चिन्मय सत्ता होता है उसको ही ब्रह्म जानना होगा. So basically this is Hindi, you may not understand. Tattva, that supreme truth is present in three states. Generally we undergo three states. We are dreaming. Either we are dreaming or daydreaming or night dreaming, but we are dreaming. All the time we are dreaming. Understand? Like one man, he found some little money. So he thought in his mind, his wife was there with him, and then he was thinking, I got some money, then I will purchase some goats. Then I will make more money from these goats. Then I will purchase cows. Then I will have so much milk in my goshala. I will be so rich. Then one day I will tell my wife, bring me hot milk. My wife will bring that milk, but she will be a little late, so I will be angry with her. And then I will kick the glass in her hand. And then this, and he was simply seeing the dream. But he was actually sleeping in his own room with no money. And he has a earthen pot with some rice in it. But he kicked so hard that he was thinking that I am kicking the glass, milk glass in my wife's hand. He broke that pot of rice also. Understand? So this is called daydreaming. You are simply daydreaming. This and that. And Jagrata. Then there is wakefulness. And Sushupti means deep sleep. So basically, this tattva about the Supreme Lord is present in these three states. So he is present in Anvaya form. Bhagavan is present in these forms, in Anvaya form. And he is also present in the heart of all the living entities, especially pure devotees. So, समाधि अवस्था में जो विशेषण विशेष चिन्मय सत्ता मात्रा से प्रकाशित होता है उसे ब्रह्म का जानना होगा. Now, Brahma manifests in the state of trance. Samadhi means trance. Samadhi, now having Sachidananda nature. So it has no adjectives, no Visheshan. It is Nirvishesh. It manifests from this spiritual existence, is Brahma Jyoti, and that is Brahma. So this is very nice verse. And then next time we'll discuss this verse for number 11. It's called Vyasa Puta. Vyasa Puta. Because Ganesh told that I will become your scribe, I will write Bhagavatam, but you should tell me quickly the verses. But Vyasa requested Ganesh that you can write and narrate the Bhagavatam, but don't write till you have realized it. So he started compiling such difficult verses that Ganesh, he could not understand their meaning, and he waited on and on and on. And finally he understood the meaning. By that time Vasudev would have written so many more verses. So in this way, Ganesh became the scribe and wrote down the Bhagavatam. Ganesh is not ordinary. He wrote the commentaries of all the acharyas. So the next verse will be 11. Vadanti tattva vidas tattvam yad jnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmiti bhagavaniti shabdate. So we'll discuss that next time. And from Vedic culture, we'll try to discuss this. Hare Krishna. Vanchakar Patri Vaishakar Bhas and Vijayanam Bali Vaishnav. Happy Ekadashi. Thank you so much for Hare tuning in. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Bol.
Hare Bol, Hare Krishna. Gita
Gita
Mat.
Mataji. Gita Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
गीता सुगीता कर्तव्य किमन्य शास्त्र विस्तर या स्वयं पद्मनाभ से मुख पद्मात विनिसर. Gita is the essence of all scriptures. Understand? So Gita is what need of any other scripture if you are reading Gita. So, gist of all the scriptures. Your name is Gita. Anyone who will utter this name becomes purified. Even if you utter even the half syllable Gi, half of the word Gi, still will be purified. Such is the power of Bhagavad Gita. It is the Ganges emanated from the lotus feet of Krishna, but Gita emanated from the mouth of Krishna. So Gita is more potent than uh,
Ganges.
Ganges river. Understand? And yesterday was the appearance day of Ganga river, or Ganga Mata Goswami's appearance day. So, basically, Ganga Mata Goswami wanted to bathe in Ganges, and Ganges manifested for her. As if Jagannath himself carried Ganga Mata Goswami into his lotus feet with his own hands. Understand? So basically, Gita and Ganga, but Ganga is very purifying, but Gita is even superior. Understand? So Srimad Bhagavatam also, first you have to have fundamental. Now this question came that we are taking initiation, then what is the procedure? What is the formality? So formality is nothing. For men, they have to shave their head, but women no need of shaving head. Understand? Because women they don't need to shave head. Understand? Those who are taking Harinam. For women, their service is cooking nice foodstuffs. Like Gita Mataji is cooking in the kitchen. So many parathas and all. So like that, an offering to Krishna. Then the women and worshipping Tulsi, women are no need to undergo shaving and other things. They are, Krishna accepts their worship very simply by if they are cooking nice preparations for Krishna. Understand? So basically, we take bath. After bath, still we are not purified. So generally, when we are taking Diksha, we are taking Achman. There is a Panchapatra, there is a pot with a spoon in it. And that is, and we take Om Keshavaya Namah, Om Narayana Namah, Om Madhavaya Namah. First Om Keshavaya Namah, you do sitting. Om Narayana Namah, you sit. Then Om Madhavaya Namah, you sit. And you take again, wash your hands, and then you sit. Like this. So this is explained in the Archan Deepika. So Achman has to be done. Generally speaking, you have to hear the mantra in the right ear. But well, Gurudev was telling that you hear the mantra in right ear or left ear, how does it matter? Gurudev never used to come to us and he used to not used to whisper in our ear, right ear. He used to sit on a chair or sofa and comfortably and he used to make us repeat the Hare Krishna mantra and other mantras. That's all. That was the initiation. And it was a mass initiation, means um, many times one devotee, two devotees, even five devotees, 10 devotees also simultaneously I have seen Gurudev initiating. Understand? So even by phone, I have seen that many times Gurudev, exhibiting his pastime of being old. He's never old actually. He's Manjari. How can he be old? But anyway, so Gurudev was exhibiting the pastime of being old. Then I used to give the phone to Gurudev, and Gurudev used to speak the mantra to the person. So like this, I have seen. So that is perfectly okay according to time, place, and circumstance. We can take mantra by phone also. But the whole point is that. Nishtha, Guru Nishtha is more important than anything else. Gurudev is telling that there are two types of persons. One person is not initiated yet and still has so much faith in Guru. Other person is having all types of initiations but has no faith in Guru. Who's superior? Uninitiated person is superior. Understand? But even if he has not formal initiation, but he has so much faith in Guru, and one initiated person has no faith or very little faith, then who's superior? One who has uh, faith is superior. Understand? The faith is sets us apart. Understand? So Diksha means is a beginning. So basically, first Harinam and then that. So not so much formality or karma kanda is involved in Gaudiya Matha. It's basically you have to take bath and hear the mantra, Hare Krishna mantra, and then start chanting that mantra. That's all it is. Understand? And for first Harinam mantra, try to do 16 rounds. Then Gurudev will give you Gopal mantra, other mantras. Understand? So formalities, very little formalities there. Actually, one didn't even wait for an auspicious day or all that. They say because suppose your hair is caught on fire, then what will you do? Will you wait for auspicious moment to jump in the swimming pool or in the river to extinguish your hair? So we are in a deadly forest fire. All of we are surrounded by the forest fire, and our hair is also on fire. So like that, how to go to Guru? You should go to Guru as quickly as you run to the source of water if your hair is on fire. That is how you have to quickly run to Guru. So not wait for any time. But anyway, sometimes Ekadashi or Gaur Purnima, some auspicious date is stipulated, Akshat Tritiya like this. But anyways, Shastra says that actually anytime, wherever you get, like Gurudev once was in a flight and there was one air hostess. Then she became very curious about Gurudev, and then she said, then Gurudev told her that you want to, would you like to chant Hare Krishna mantra and love God? Then he said, God is love, love is God. You want to love God? She said, yes, I want to love God. Then Gurudev gave her mid-air initiation on the spot. Right in the flight, gave her the Hare Krishna mantra. Understand? Basically, no waiting. Oh, she was in her duty and Gurudev gave her mantra. Start chanting mantra right away. No hard and fast rule for this, chanting this mantra. Understand? न देश नियमो तथा न काल नियमो तथा नोच्छिष्टादो निषेधास्ति हरि नाम mantra मुद्दतो. Understand? So basically, now we are coming to the next verse. We'll discuss next class because it's 10 o'clock in India and this is the time I generally feel sleepy. Understand? So वदन्ति तत्त्वविदस्तत्त्वं यत् ज्ञानमद्वयं ब्रह्मेति परमात्मेति भगवानिति शब्द. This is called Vyasakuta. Vyasakuta means Vyasadeva wanted a scribe to someone who write Bhagavatam. But Ganesh told that you should tell me quickly. Otherwise I will run away. And then Brahma told Ganesh, you should write down the shlokas Vyasadeva is telling. Ganesh said, I agree, but I cannot wait. He will compile shlokas or compose shlokas and he will tell me. You should quickly tell me. Then Vyasadeva also put a condition. Don't write till you understand. And then he spoke this one particular verse. Vadanti tattva vidas tattam yat jnanam advayam brahmeti paramadvati bhagwaniti sabda. And Ganesh started scratching his head. It took him long time to understand the purport of this verse. By that time, Vyasadeva had compiled the entire Srimad Bhagavatam. Understand? So this is called Vyasakuta. Very deep and very confidential verse whose meaning is very difficult to fathom. Understand? Unless you are in Guru Parampara, you cannot understand this verse properly. So here the three manifestations of the absolute truth, Brahma, Paramatma and Bhagwan is discussed. Understand? So this is the sloka spoken by Sutta Goswami. As in Naimisharanya, the great sages headed by Shaunaka Rishi, 88,000 sages, they asked a question to the disciple of Shukdev Goswami, to Sutta Goswami. So they asked a question, what is the purport of all the scriptures? So they asked 6 questions. So in the answer to the second question, Sutta Goswami has told this verse. Understand? Vadanti tattva vidas tattvam yat jnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagwaniti shabdate. So this is the answer to the second question of the great sages like Shaunaka Rishi and others. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for tuning in. And 12th is Panihati. The Bangalore devotees, they are going to Melukote. I think Sripad Dandi Maharaj is taking them to Melukote. Melukote is a very wonderful place. Um, I heard that Sri Ramanujacharya, he went to Melukote. Apparently, there was some problem in Tamil Nadu. There were some fanatic Shaiva kings who were giving hard time to the Vaishnavas. So, due to the atrocities of to escape the atrocities of the kings who were fanatic about Lord Shiva, there is no, there should not be any dissension or fight among the devotees of Shiva and Brahma. Understand? Shiva and Vishnu. There shouldn't be any fight between Shiva and Vishnu's devotees. Because Shiva is the greatest of the devotees of Vishnu, and Vishnu is also the great friend of Lord Shiva. So why there should be any fight? But anyways, when they were committing atrocities on Vaishnavas, Ramanacharya spent 14 years in this area of Karnataka, so Melukote. Melukote has temple of Cheluva Narayan, and which is the original crown from Vaikuntha is there. Once in a year, they put it on the head of that deity. That Cheluva deity was actually small Vijay Vigraha, which was in the custody of a Muslim king who had plundered that deity when he invaded the temples. But the king's daughter was in love with that Cheluva deity. But later on, by the desire of Ramanacharya, the deity came with Ramanujacharya. And that princess also came following the deity and she entered into merge in the deity. So like that big history is there, that Chelvanarayan deity. That is a Vairumudi festival once a year they do. It's a very nice crown of Vaikuntha. And no one can look at it unless it is on the head of Lord Chelvanarayan. Otherwise you have eye problems they have. It's very hot, so they have to put a cloth. Even the pujari is blindfolded till that crown is on the head of the Lord and is in the custody of the district magistrate. So Melukote is a very, very ancient place on top of a hill. There is Narsingadev temple there. Prahlad that did austerities there. It's a very important uh, education center of Vishishta Dvaitavad. That particular philosophy of Ramanacharya which he propagated from Vishishta Dvaitavad, and there is a school of Vedantis there and who give classes on Vedanta, Vishishta Dvaitavad Vedanta, Siddhanta. And even from Swaminarayan Sampradaya Brahmacharis come there to learn Vedanta there. Understand? So Vedanta previously people used to study, but like Baldev Vidyabhushan Pad, whose appearance was there yesterday, and he studied this Vedanta Sutras and commentaries of Vedanta in Udupi, and he learned all the commentaries of different acharyas. Then he went to Jagannath Puri, Baldev Vidyabhushan Pad, and there he met Sri Radha Damodar Das Prabhu, and he thought he will defeat all the Vidwan, scholarly Pandits and make them devotees. But he met Radha Damodar Das in Jagannath Puri, then Baldev Vidyabhushan Pad was defeated by him. Then he accepted him as Guru. Understand? Because Radha Damodar Das looked like a simple devotee, but a very knowledgeable. He accepted him as Guru and then he went for further Shiksha to Vishwanath Thakur. Understand? So Vedanta Sutra is very, very important scriptures. But again, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has told us that essence of all the Vedas is Harinam. We get Harinam, we chant Harinam, then it's like reciting all the Vedas. So, Chaturnaam Vedanam Vardaveda Makrishyarinā Chaturvyad Varanai Sputamagati Narayana Padam Tatidat Gayantavaya Manishamatmana Madhuna Punimo Janiman Haripurito Vishayakimati. The essence of all the Vedas in the four syllables Narayana. So keep on chanting the whole name of Narayan and Krishna and you will get the benefit of reciting all the Vedas. Ma Ruk Ma Sama Ma Yajur Patakinchana Govindeti Harir Nama Gayam Gaya Sarvada. Don't worry about reciting Rugved, Samved, Yajurvediya mantras. They are too difficult. If proper pronunciation is not there, you may not get the correct result also. But Maha is very merciful. So those who are taking initiation, they can hear that mantra from the lips of the Gurudev, Sripad Dandi Maharaj, and start chanting that mantra right away. No other formality is required. Hare Krishna. Manchakalpatra Vishakrupa Sindhivajapatyanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Hari Bol. Alright? Hare Krishna. Alright, Rati
Hare
Devi?
Krishna Maharaj. I think Maharaj Geeta Ma wants
Uh,
to say something. Mataji, please unmute.
I
don't
don't
know
know.
if she's.
Gita Mataji is
No, Ma
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu. I just wanted to ask you, what about the photograph which I asked?
Pardon?
A photograph of Dandi Maharaj and Param Guru.
Actually, there is a very wonderful photograph. I will forward to you and Vishaka Didi and to you also. This was done by one devotee, Ramana Prabhu, your god brother, Sripad Dandi Maharaj disciple. He has a computer shop, so he has done very nice one actually. Good background, very nice, and we made a nice frame. It was made from teak wood, about 30 kilos. That photograph was heavier than Sripad Dandi Maharaj, I think. It's so difficult to lift it. I could not lift it actually. It was heavier. It was so heavy actually. Thick wood. They made a frame. I said, wow, never seen a heavier frame than that. So, anyways, long lasting something they made. So I'll send you that photograph. Then I gave him some different photographs of different acharyas, so that next time we'll put a different background. Some like different styles of backgrounds are there. Like forest, because our guru is more like Manjari, so we put the Vrindavan background, creepers, trees, cuckoo birds, and then he's sitting in a kunja in Vrindavan and chanting holy name, something like that. So I gave him, he will do then with Photoshop. But I'll send you what he has made. I think it's good piece of work.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Jai Jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Radhe
Balu
Radhe.
Prabhu and Jayadvani. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Maharaj. And this morning, Sati Mataji actually took Diksha from Gurudev.
Yes, yes. Yeah, she is waiting, and because she is fully qualified, because she's sincerely hearing our classes. So it's good that you recommended to Maharaj. So Ekadashi day today she got already. She got
Ji
already.
Maharaj.
So this
Yes.
she already got Diksha, because I can see your face is glowing. Understand that you are looking quite different, and new sense of confidence has come in you. And I can see that there was a different type of. Actually, that is happens in Diksha. Diksha is so instantaneous effect is there. I was um, reading actually Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He wrote a book called Bhakti Tattva Vivek. Now, this Bhakti Tattva Vivek is the summary of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. And in that one, it is quoted that Diksha Matrana Krishnasya Nara Moksha Lavanti Vai. Diksha Matrana Krishnasya Nara Moksha Lavanti Vai. That simply by Diksha one gets liberation. Just by Diksha itself. Next time I'll quote that verse to you. So it's so powerful. Just by Diksha. And people can even smell those who have Diksha. Like one time, Kuresh Prabhu was there. Then Sripad Dandi Maharaj told me this story that one time there was a devotee by the name Kuresha, and he had two sons. And apparently, they went to play in some Vaishnava's house, and that Vaishnava gave them mantra. Vaishnavas gave them mantra, both the sons. They're twins, I think. So Kuresha's two sons, they got mantra and they came back to father's home. Then Kuresh said, "Hey, did you get initiated?" They didn't tell him that we got initiated, but he could smell their bodies. Transcendental fragrance was coming from their body. And he said, "Oh, I think from just looking at the face, he could understand. Understand." So Diksha means it changes the whole body in a second. Because the mantra is so powerful. His mantra is not ordinary, and especially if you receive from such a high class Vaishnava like Sripad Dandi Maharaj, who has maintained exalted purity and exalted consciousness, and preserving the Guru Parampara, and blessed by Srila Gurudev, not an ordinary personality. So such a liberated Vaishnava like Sripad Dandi Maharaj, eternal associate of Radha Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like this, you are very fortunate. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Hare
Machata
Krishna.
Patrivesha Kripa Sindhuvecha Paridana Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Hare Krishna. Dada.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
So, Vishaka Didi,
Yes, Mataji.
can I sing?
Yes, Mataji, you can go ahead sing.
Sing a song.
Okay. Ore Vaishnava Thakur Dayar Sagare He Karuna Karuna Koi Ore Vaishnava Thakur Dayar Sagare He
Veda se
Karuna
karuna kari.
Koi Daya Pada Mara Tumara
Charadhari.
Puri Vaishnava Thakur
Thakur dayar sagar.
Sagar Veda
Veda se
Sikar
karuna kari.
Jaya Vigadi Jaya Sudi Jaya Gunasi Jaya Jaya Satsanga Diho Kiyamare
Hare
Basuki
Krishna,
Sagirati Puri Vaishnava Thakuri
Thakur
Dayarasa
dayar sagar. Veda se karuna kari.
Gauri Ekaki Hari Nama Sankirtan
Dane
Tumi Kripa Kori
Kari Shraddha Bindu
Gopindu
Diya
Diya
Neha Krishna
Dikha
Namadhani
Puri Vaishnava Thakur
Thakura Dayar Sagar Eda se karuna
Gauri Krishna Sita Krishna Sita
Krishna se to
तुम्हारे
Tomar Shakatiya
কাছে আমি তো আমি তো কঙ্কাল
Kankala Krishna Krishna Bali
বলে
Dai Tava Pache
দাঁড়াতে
Pa
পারছি ওরে
Hey
বৈষ্ণবতা
Vaishnava Thakura Dayar Sagar Eda se karuna kari. Yeah, this is actually a very important song because it is Bhaktivinoda Thakur is telling here that, O worshipable Vaishnava Thakur, ocean of kindness, be merciful to this servant. I am catching hold of your lotus feet. Give me their shade and purify me. Help me subdue the six urges. Now, what are the six urges? Chaya Vega. The six urges are Vacha, means we should control our speech, not speak anything other than Krishna Katha. Manas, mind also, don't think anything other than Krishna's pastimes. Krodha, anger. Krodha is the greatest enemy for us. Understand? Jiva, we should control our tongue, eating and speaking. Udara means also stomach. Uh, and Upastha means genitals. Basically, first you control your tongue, automatically the stomach is controlled. Stomach is controlled, genitals also controlled. So they are in the three line, one line. Jiva, stomach and genitals. They are in one line. If you don't control the tongue, if you eat the foodstuffs not offered to Krishna, then you cannot control your tongue, then you cannot control your stomach, and you cannot control your genitals. The Chaya dosha, the six faults that spoil one's bhajan are atyahar, overeating or over collecting. So basically, prasadam is very tasty, so we overeat. But that is also not correct. Over collecting, don't collect too much money. Understand? There was one Maharaj, he was given three set of dhotis and he accepted them. But when someone told him that I will give you one more set of dhotis, then he said no. If I have three set of dhotis, it's okay. Because one I wear, the other one I have washed, other one is in backup. But if I have four, then I am a sense enjoyer. Understand? So we should have only as many clothes as little clothes as possible, as much we need. Not too many clothes we should have. Understand? Not over collect. Prayasa means over endeavor. Don't endeavor too much for something. Understand? If it is difficult, just give it up. Don't over endeavor for material things. Prajalpa means idle gossip. Now this is the many problems it causes. So best to discuss Harikatha, Krishna Katha, sing songs. Our aim and objective should be that, Giti Kucha, all the songs I will try to memorize, or many important songs I will try to memorize. we don't have to refer to Giti Gucha. One time Gurudev was in Australia and he went for morning walk. Devotees came to his quarters for Mangalarti, Guru Puja, and then Radha, and then Vrindavan Parikrama means like Parikrama of the Vrinda Devi. Then Gurudev went for morning walk. Then there was Ekadashi day, so Gurudev started giving a class. Then he told the devotees first sing the song, Shuddha Bhakata Charana Renu Bhajan Anukuda. Then devotees started singing the song, but they were referring to the song book, Giti Gucha. Then Gurudev said, no, if you are referring to the book, you are not memorized the song. So try to uh, commit it to memory. Then only the meaning will sing to your heart. So then Gurudev started explaining the meaning of the Madhav Tithi. What is Madhav Tithi? Ekadashi. He said, why Janmashtami is not called Madhav Tithi? Or even Gaur Purnima is not Madhav Tithi. Only Ekadashi is Madhav Tithi. Ekadashi's importance is more than even Janmashtami and Ram Navami and other things. Understand? So we should try to remember important songs, practice them. Obviously, if you sing every day, obviously they will be committed to your memory. You'll slowly, you'll all will be committed to your memory. Understand? So basically, Gurudev was very happy when devotees sang this song. Chaya Vegadami, Chaya Dosha Shodhi, Chaya Guna Deho Dase. Chaya Gunas are the six qualities that enhance one's bhajan is enthusiasm. We should be enthusiastic. We should not be depressed like Shripad Dandi Maharaj. Always very enthusiastic. Whatever so many problems come, but he always steps on the heads of these problems and he starts enthusiastically carries on. Understand? He never worries about anything. Nishchay, firm faith. That also Shripad Dandi Maharaj and Gurudev have these qualities. A firm faith. So much opposition came to Shripad Dandi Maharaj and to Gurudev also, and great Vaishnavas like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhaktivedanta Sai Maharaj. They had so much opposition from so many quarters of the society. All these great Vaishnavas, don't think didn't face opposition. But they had firm faith. Like one time there was one devotee by the name Sanatan Prabhu. Took Diksha. After Diksha, he did not take onion, garlic, meat, fish, eggs. He was chanting Harinam, following Ekadashi. The villagers became so angry with him and they ostracized him. They said, you cannot come to the well to draw water. No barber from our village barber will go to shave your head. He was ostracized. He was treated like an outcast, untouchable, just because he became Vaishnava. And then his daughter's marriage was there, and he cooked so many preparations for the bridegroom's party. And they did not allow even the bridegroom to come to the village. They were so envious. The villagers sent the bridegroom party away by force. They said, no, you cannot marry his daughter. Then he came to the mutt with so many preparations because that day he had cooked so many sweets and other things for daughter's marriage to be distributed as prasadam to the marriage party. But he all that prasad he came with that prasadam to the Chaitanya Mutt in Bad Bazaar in Kolkata. He said, take this prasadam, distribute among the brahmacharis and sannyasis and Vaishnavas who come to the temple. And everyone asked, why so much all of a sudden prasadam? Then he told smilingly that, oh, my daughter's marriage was there, but the people didn't allow it because I have become a Vaishnava. Then Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada became so angry, and he shouted, let the demonic mentality be destroyed, let the demonic mentality be destroyed, let the demonic mentality of the people be destroyed. And then what happened? Oh, their mind changed. And then one very beautiful, handsome boy came 5 days later, and he was a Vaishnava, perfect Vaishnava, and he got married to that girl. Understand? And Prabhupada's words came true. So that Sanatan Prabhu, such determination he had. Later on he took sannyas and did bhajan. He lived 100 years. His name became Bhaktivedanta Muni Maharaj. He took sannyas along with Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj from Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj. And he lived 100 years in the matha. Till the last day he was active. No health problem. He had all the 32 teeth in his mouth. His eyes were perfect. No difficulty in him. And he had donated the money to buy the Dharmashala. He had given, I think, 4,000 rupees that time, lot of money, to buy the Keshavji Gaudiya Math Dharmashala. So, as long as Keshavji Gaudiya Math exists, people will remember this Sanatan Prabhu, the Srila Bhakti Vedanta Muni Maharaj. So, such a great personality, Srila Gurudev has written. So, he had so much firm faith, dhairya, patience to achieve the prema. People become impatient, understand. Just like one monkey, he went to one garden and people threw stones at him. He said, "Wait a minute, I went to garden to eat mangoes, people threw stones and me, I became injured." So I said, he said, "I'm not going to go to anyone's garden, I'm going to cultivate my own garden, a fruit garden," the monkey thought. Then he brought the seeds of different seeds like uh, mango seeds and jackfruit trees seeds. He brought them and he planted them. But monkey, every half an hour he would dig the seed again out. Because he says, why the tree is not coming? Why the mangoes are not coming? So this is monkey mentality, understand? You say, I am chanting for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 100 years. No, we should have firm faith and we should have patience. Wait patiently. And not in one day a mango tree will yield the fruit. Understand? It takes 30, 40, 50 years just to grow. Understand? So, bhakti anukula pravritti, accepting activities that are favorable for bhajan. So, all the activities like coming for Mangalarti, chanting, Annek, Gayatri, serving Vaishnavas, Asat Sangatya, this is very, very important. Now we have to slowly give up with the Mandian Association, associate of the Association of Mayavadis, materialistic persons, and Bhakti Sadachar. Try to follow good behavior of devotion. Now, Bhakti Sadachar also very big discussion. Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj has written a very big book about Vaishnava Sadachar. Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj was actually has written a book called Art of Sadhan. Art of Sadhan, and in that he has explained all the rules and regulations, how to control the mind, how to practice, how to preach, Diksha Mantra and the holy name. So we should have faith in that. First, you have to have faith in the Diksha Mantras. He tells a story about one Oza. Oza means actually a snake charmer. One person's son was bitten by a snake, and allopathic doctor declared him to be dead. They checked with stethoscope, there was no heartbeat. They took the pulse. That boy had no pulse. And they thought that he's died due to snake bite, and they said, "No, we cannot save him, he's dead." Then they went to one mantrik Oza, one snake charmer, and he chanted some mantras and he had 3 small conch shells and threw them in the air. They got stuck to the body of the snake, to the head, to the middle portion and the tail. And the snake, being under the influence of the mantra, came to the boy and he began to suck his poison out. And after some time, he sucked out all the poison and the boy was revived. So then someone asked Oza that, how come you have done such wonder? Doctors had declared him dead, clinically dead, and you revived that boy. He said, this is the power of the mantra. He said, my mantras are effective, although these mantras are not in Sanskrit language, they are not the mantras of Vishnu, but they are very, very powerful because I have faith in Guru and I have faith in mantra. So 2 things are required. You must have faith in Guru and you must have faith in mantra. Understand? Both are required. Without that, you will not get success. Understand? So most important, always have faith in Guru and always have faith in mantras. Never ignore your mantras. Keep on chanting the mantras. Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpataruvecha Kripasindhuvecha Paridanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Hare
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Prams. Thank you.
Krishna.
Ananga Mohan.
Thank
Ananga
you,
Mohan
sir.
from India. Thank you,
Hare
Gurudev.
Hare Krishna. Hare
श्री श्री गुरु गौरंगा गंधर्व गिरिधारी राधा विनोद बिहारी जी की जय। नितिल प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति वेदांत विष्णु देति गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। नितिल प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति वेदांत दंडी गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। नितिल प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। नितिल प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। नितिले प्रविष्ट विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र शत श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज की जय। Nitile Pravishta Om Vishnupada Stotara Shata Shri Srimad Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nitile Pravishta Om Vishnupada Stotara Shata Shri Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nitile Pravishta Parama Bhagavat Pravara Shri Srila Gauri Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Nitile Pravishta Shri Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Nitile Pravishta Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Gaudiya Vedanta Acharya Shri Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Narottam Srinivas Shyamananda Prabhu Trai Ki Jai. Shri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhata Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhat Das Raghunath Sat Goswami प्रभु की जय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रमनदास श्री गौर प्रसाद बिंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्री हरदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसति गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री अंतर्द्वीप मायापुर सीमा द्वीप गौतम द्वीप मध्य द्वीप कोला द्वीप ऋतु द्वीप जानु द्वीप मोद्रा ध्रुम द्वीप रुद्रद्वीप पद्मकाशी नवद्वीप धाम की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपाल गोपी गोवर्धन वदश मरात्मकार श्री भज मंडल की जय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड गंगा यमुना तुलसी भक्ति देवी की जय। श्रीमती वृंद देवी की जय। श्री पौर्णमास योग माय की जय। श्री गोपीश्वर महादेव की जय। श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्र सुदर्शन चक्र जीव की जय। श्री श्वेत मंडल की जय। सर्व विघ्न विनाशक श्रीमदेव की जय। भक्त प्रवार श्री प्रहलाद महाराज की जय। चार धाम की जय। चार संप्रदाय की जय। चार आचार्य की जय। अकर्मा राज श्री चैतन्य मात की जय। श्री के विजी गौदिया मात ओता सखा मात समूह की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद भागवतम की जय। श्री चैतन्य चैत अमृत के जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। सामगात भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेम हरि हरि बोल।
Thank you, Ananga Mohan Prabhu, for that. Thank you, dear devotees, for joining today. Vanchakalpa Trivishya, Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Dear devotees, there's also one announcement. Thank you to T. Didi and her team for recording every Monday, Friday, and Saturday classes. Much appreciated, Didi, and to your team. So recently, me and Ananga Manjari Didi have been working on Bhaktivedanta Nandi Maharaj's classes for the beginning now, and we're done with Gurudev's class, and it's up on his YouTube channel. So devotees, please like and subscribe. And it's all the English classes that we've been going through with Gurudev, and we're gonna start in the future. Well, not in the future, like maybe a couple of days from now, with Bhaktivedanta Vishnu Daivata Maharaj's classes as well. I'm just editing the title and subjects for now. So it's taking a bit some time because I'm listening over to hear where Maharaj is reading from and stuff. We're trying to get those points, and we will edit and put them up, and then I will also put them on Sri Ranganath Gaudiya Math, the Facebook page of Gurudev's. So thank you, dear devotees, and thank you, T. Didi and your team. We highly appreciate what you're doing and all your seva. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Farams devotees.